Welcome. My boy,
Dude.
Ryan Pendry,
Yeah.
King, my guy, dude. Game of the week last night. How you feeling, man?
I mean, we were a little flustered to start. I think everybody had those butterflies because, like, we're not used to that. It's our first. It's my second time ever. When I was with the homies, we played the Leafys and got our domes peeled back real quick. Like, it wasn't even close. And now it's like I'm on an actual team that knows how to play kickball, and so I think it being the first time we had butterflies for maybe the first half inning. Then after maybe the first three batters, okay, it's just another game now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously your game of the week was huge, but our guy Sean Meredith really stole the show. 7th inning stretch, the most rigged contest of all time. My team was in charge of the raffle, and I just want to say I hate face-to-face dealing with people I know. I used to work in sales, and I don't mind talking to someone over the phone. If I don't know them, but it's going around and asking people to donate is to me very comfortable. I know people on my team who are I don't want to do this at all. So we were supposed to rig it for Sean. So it's why would anyone actually give their own money to not even have a chance to win the money? So I was you know what? I'm just gonna write $150. We're gonna call it a day. I paid $150. I don't want to sell any tickets, and obviously Corinne's gonna win. And so we rigged the hell out of it. So, but yeah, dude, that was. I don't know what your thoughts. Obviously, I assume Sean in some way, shape, or form coordinated some of that with you guys. But dude, when I heard about it, I had heard a while back Sean wanted to do it after his team won a game. It was not looking like they might ever win a game again. And then an opportunity presents itself, and then what are the fucking odds they actually win a game, dude?
Yeah, no, on a walk-off, too. So
yeah.
It's a little more exciting in general, too. Yeah, it was awesome. And, yeah, Sean did coordinate. We were supposed to play the song Lover by Taylor Swift, and then he switched it quickly to Paper Rings. So I had that ready. I went and bought a bottle of champagne, and my boy Willis opened it early, so I had to go back and plug it with my finger, shake it up, give him a little champagne shower, which I'm sure they both enjoyed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a fucking awesome time. I know, at least 2 of our players were tearing up.
Dude, I was tearing up, bro. I was a mess, bro. I love, man.
It was so good. And Cougar was crying. Cougar did not just tear up. Cougar was crying, and it was fucking awesome. That was the first time out of 2 that he cried that night. So.
Yeah, dude, I commented on the Facebook post about it at 3:15, 3:20 in the morning and said, I'm still crying. And Cougar, I got a notification 20 minutes later. Cougar's me too. I was man, only Cougar was awake at 3:30 in the morning, still crying about Sean Meredith's proposal to you, man. But that was so cool. And I know a lot of people had opinions, I don't know if this is where I would do it, or who knows if she wants it. But it's dude, I always say, man, it's not your place to judge anybody's love story in the first place. And it's I've said it before, we will probably at some point bring this back up again. Nobody loves the KKL more than Sean Meredith.
I was going to say,
and it's that there's no better place for him to do it. And the proposal obviously is, typically more catered towards the woman and her preferences or the other party. But it's I think he's been married before. Yeah. I think she may be. I know she has kids. I don't know if she's. So it's it probably doesn't have the same luster. A great moment she plays on Posh Wash. So they just won a game in a walk-off, dude. Yeah. That's the type of thing that everybody can have their opinions on. But at the same time, I'm sure they're going to live a very happy marriage and look back on that night very, very fondly.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sean's favorite thing in the world, being KVKL in front of 200 of his favorite people.
Yeah,
I can't think of a better and more fitting time and place than Game of the Week.
Yeah, and I was actually standing right behind her kids, and I was talking to Becca and Eli. I was do you think they know? And I don't know. I forgot to actually ask. I was going to ask Sean if he had told him. I would think that he had probably. It's been that feels like the type of thing you get them together the morning of and be hey, I'm doing this for your mom tonight, because they seemed very locked in. Type
I know
of thing.
Corinne's youngest was not aware.
Oh, it wasn't.
She told me that her youngest did not know.
That's crazy. So it's I don't know, man. I was overcome with emotion. It was very dramatic, very awesome. But yeah, no, Sean, Game of the Week, couldn't imagine a better place to do it. So moving on to the next subject, and this is gonna be a roller coaster at the beginning of good things, bad things. We're gonna skip over this next thing very quickly. My team got fucking cooked yesterday, and it's one of those things that depends when you were watching, depends when you left. If you were there in the 7th inning, you were wow, this game's close. If you were there in the 8th and 9th inning, that game was not close at all. Obviously, I'll leave this type of discussion for tomorrow night, the regular podcast. I'm sure everyone will have their opinions on this, that, or the other, man. But obviously, Johnny's now playing for the 1 seed on Sunday, and like that has to be the most unpredictable. I don't think a single person on earth had any idea that that Johnny's was going to be fighting for the 1 seed.
Yeah, when we played them, I think we were down like 7-3 in like the 6th or 7th inning, and they just hit this second gear and like put on 5 runs in like the last 2 innings. I was like, oh, like these guys are fucking legit.
Yeah.
Like, they know how to get into action. And I told you, I don't remember what inning it was. It might have been 6th or 7th. I was like, you guys are not looking like yourselves. Like the energy was dead. First off, that was like my first sign. Like there was no energy. Like you guys, I don't know. It looked like you guys just weren't having fun.
Yeah.
And I think it showed. And then obviously, like you said, like I left a little early to go get some, the stuff for Sean taken care of and a couple other things for game of the week. But apparently they just started really, really picking it up.
That 9th inning, I wish Marcus would have just edited the clips out, because it was just like we lost the game in the 8th. It's one of those games, and a lot of people don't always want to like say, oh, game's not over and stuff like that. But it's like in sports, especially sport like baseball, kickball stuff, where it's like very lineup dependent. You're setting things up like you can lose a game in the 8th inning because you needed to get runs to set up your 9th inning, and like we basically had that situation. Like we had to we were down 3, bottom of the 8th. We had a runner on 3rd with 1 out, and we didn't score him. And it's like that. Like we lost the game in that. Like it was like the second that happened, we didn't really stand by. Like it would have taken probably Johnny's biggest disaster of an inning all season for us to come back. And it's like we obviously did that against LSF. LSF, a very, very good team. LSF beat Johnny's. But at the same time, like that was a miracle that we pulled that off.
Yeah.
And against the top 4, top 5, even top like 8 to 10 team, like 4 runs in an inning is not easy to pull off. So it's like I personally felt like, hey, we lost the game right here, and then it just like they got the bases loaded off, like dropped balls and then it was just like implosion. I'm fucking bobbling the ball. Everybody, it was an implosion. So
I don't know this player's name on your team, and like you said, you don't want to get too in the weeds about this, but like when he hit that home run, it was like
Ricky.
He hit that home run that scored 2 runs and tied it up, and I was like, oh, like it's gonna momentum.
Yeah, I thought
now.
So too.
And then nope.
I
think Johnny's answered. I think they put up 2, maybe.
I think 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too that was like the worst part about that. That was like the bottom of the lineup. Yeah. Like we need, like in theory, that should have played out really well. Like where we could have gotten the bottom of the lineup out in 3 outs, and then I think they still would have maybe had a bottom, like their last kicker to still kick or something. So then like we could have started the top of their lineup in the 9th with 1 out. Like that's a good spot.
Right.
We didn't get out of it. It is what it is. My saving grace, and the last thing I'll say about this game is Simon said it probably 45 times today. We could not play any worse. Like no way. There's no possible way that group of people could play any worse. And that game was tied in the 7th inning. So my look at it is the first and second place team are the only teams that have beaten us this year. And both of those games, I believe in the 7th inning, we were tied or winning. That's a good spot to be. Obviously, it's not going to win a championship, but that's going to be my positive grace. But in terms of another top, 12 maybe at this point, Love Garden falling down a little bit. Matchup here, Love Garden, Harpies. That game. I had a pretty strong opinion last week that Harpies should have been playing us, and that Redlegs and Honey Badgers should have been playing each other. I believe Honey Badgers have had some injuries, so I guess that take really isn't going to last. But Harpies pulling off a big win against Love Garden. Now maybe, at least to me, rationalizes that Harpies versus Redlegs game a little more, because I know, the board doesn't necessarily have Redlegs that high. I have Redlegs pretty high. I know I imagine you have Redlegs pretty high. But it's one of those things where it's like, last week my take was if they would have lost to Love Garden, they would have been at best 10. And then it's like, well, if Redlegs beats them, what is that proving? That they can beat the 10th best team? Right. That's not, like, we need to find out how good Redlegs are. And we'll talk more about my opinions on the marquee matchups, which for the most part, absolutely fantastic job by the board. But I do think, like, in my head, at least I'd always pictured as like the board's going to use this to solve problems. Like, we need to figure out we need an answer. How good are the Redlegs? Week 10, we're going to find out how good the Redlegs are. And so, at least originally, I was like, I don't know if Harpies is going to be a game that tells us how good the Redlegs are, but now beating Love Garden, obviously almost should beat Global.
Right there.
They're right there. So it's a game that's probably going to decide potentially the 6th seed. And so I'm curious, what your quick thoughts are on that Love Garden Harpies game if you have any.
Well, I mean, I think we've known Harpies have been kind of knocking on the door of like breaking into that top 5, top 6, like whatever number you want to put it at. And I mean, Love Garden, it seems that they've maybe taken a little bit of a step back from last year. I haven't gotten the chance to watch too many of their games.
They also lost Kirby, who's probably their third, fourth best player too, which is and a season you're already struggling is not good.
Yeah. And I don't know if the Harpies had control of most of that game. I don't know if it was like back and forth, but I think, especially like with the Harpies, like that.
I believe Harpies were actually losing almost the entire game.
Well, then that first week when they 16-2 Shirt Factory, I mean that win right now is like
GOAT tier.
Yes. So I think that probably the better team won that game. I don't know.
I tend to agree at this point. Like, I think I was still. I mean, I'm on the record saying it. I thought Love Garden was still pretty good last week. Now it's like they're good. I mean, they're good top 10 team probably at a bare minimum, but it's like they are no longer in that top 5. Like, there's levels to this conversation.
Yeah.
They've dropped down. And man, I'll tell you, like you made the comment about Harpies win over LSF. I don't know the truth. I don't know the truth. I refuse to believe the LSF team that played us or beat Johnny's was the team that Harpies. Like I don't see a world that team could ever give up 16 runs and only score 2. So it's like I don't know if they were missing people. I don't know if they didn't have people ready yet. I don't know if it was everybody's first week playing. I don't know what it was, but like that win obviously looked ridiculous. And another win too that looks ridiculous is our 23-1 over JDE. It's like there's and I'm a big believer in like you're never as good or as bad as you look. But man, that Harpies 16-2 over LSF might actually be the most impressive win this season.
I mean, it just shows that any given week, like I tell my players every week, is like any given week, like it's 10 on 10, playing with the same ball on the same field, like anything can happen. And I mean, like I said, Harpies over LSF, you over JDE, like surely shows that anything can happen.
Yeah, and I mean, heck, last week, man, you guys could have KTC's biggest upset ever.
Bro. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, and this is no shot at KTC because I think, but like in that situation, runners on first and second, especially our top 2 runners, me and Aaron, we got runners on first and second, no outs. 9 out of 10 times we score at least 1 run, tie it up, take it into extra innings. I think, barring unforeseen circumstances that happen, I think 9 out of 10 times we win that game outright in 9 innings, and that's a really hard one to look back. And Aaron even said that he thought about it between Sunday and Tuesday. He thought about that game probably 100 times.
Yeah, dude,
I feel for that guy.
Yeah, no, dude, it's those losses like that. I've had 2 brutal losses to KTC in the playoffs. Like one time, literally bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, pop fly, we catch it, we win the game, dropped, and then another time Lou kicked like inside the park grand slam, basically. Like we were tied 3-3 inside the park grand slam, and I think he also pulled off like 6 double plays at third base in that game. Like literally snagging balls he had no reason to be snagging, and then get the person back out at whatever base they had started to leave. So that's
at
the name of the
the
game.
Beginning, like when you do your pregame huddle and you're talking to your team or whatever, like I told my team, I said we could play like a perfect game for 98% of this game. It's that 2% that we're not perfect that KTC is going to capitalize on, and sure as hell in the biggest moment in the game they have that 2% where we give it to them.
Yeah, and so on the subject of your team, let's move over to game of the week. And obviously, I believe it was last week, it was Aaron rounding the base a little too strong. I believe it runs in the family.
Yeah,
Brett this week, game of the week, very early. I don't know what it is. I got some laughs. You guys had a nice family zone on the right concourse there, and I got a couple of laughs from them because I was actually in that area when that happened. I yelled at Cougar. I was like, Cougar, like stop fucking letting them round the goddamn fucking base. But hey, man, I guess it didn't matter at the end of the day for you guys. But I think the game was still pretty close when it happened.
Yes,
there's still at least the belief. I think it was the first inning, maybe even.
Yeah. I think it was Brett. So he's the bottom of our lineup. So it probably was the third inning where he came up, and it was huge. I mean, I bunted and they threw. I think I bunted and they threw Aaron out at second or something, and then he turned that base. And like I just remember kind of like seeing Cougar freaking out how he normally does. That's just Cougar. We love him for it. I wouldn't change anything about him. But Cougar's screaming, freaking out, and I mean Brett goes in that dugout, and like if you're in his way in that moment, like I feel terrible for you. I'm so glad I was on first base because if I was in Brett's path right there, I don't know if I'd be here right now. So
yeah, that's I understand the anger there, man. I've had a couple. I mean, my game of the week, I fucking like popped out for the trillionth time, fucking threw my hat one way,
Yeah.
I threw my armband the other way. I know how that goes. But all in all, though, very impressive win for you guys last night. I'm curious, like you said earlier, the jitters were there at the beginning, but all in all, like, what's your takeaway from, I think 10-4, something like 12-4?
Yeah, 10-4. I
10-4,
mean,
something like that.
first and foremost, I think it proves that like the Tropics are here. Like we're no longer like rebuilding, like rebranding. Like we are here, and like we're. I don't know if you follow all the Facebook posts too much, but in case you didn't know, we're scared to play. We're scared to play Sacred Sword. No, we're not scared to play anybody. I mean, like last week, KTC, we had them, and we're gonna have losses like we did against Red Legs, where we get just shit pumped. Like that's always gonna happen. That's gonna happen every single year, I'm sure. And like, so for us to go out there and like kind of show people who might have been skeptical or not be super familiar with who we are, I think it just felt really good to get a win like that under our belts, where in the past where we've had opportunities to win games like that, we haven't quite been able to make it happen in just those big moments.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, hey, I remember, I believe you guys were away, right? And you guys, I think, had some sort of, you didn't score in the first inning, right? Is that correct?
It was 1-2. I scored, and that was
and
it.
then,
In the first
yeah,
inning.
and that was on a very, I think there was a controversial play and you just kept running, right? Like you, like, I think it was a controversial play for you to get on base. And then, like, you scored on a play that something else was going on. They weren't really paying attention to you, right?
Yeah.
And then they put 2 on you guys. I was like, dude, oh, bro. Like, I was like, man, I didn't see that coming, you know? So I was like, oh, fuck, please, God. But you guys got it back into work real quick. And so I'm curious, you know, I know there was some controversy about not being able to make Jello shots.
Oh, my God.
I'm curious. All in all, though, I know one of my favorite things was your guys' railing. I don't know if everyone watching this or that ends up listening got to see the triage of pictures, and I don't know. Like, I mean, this is Mikey's words, not mine. Mikey said that you snapped him and told him to send you a seductive picture. His picture looked like high school boy thirst trap.
Shit, man. This might have been a while ago. Man, Mike sends faces like that all the time. So, no, my team didn't even know about it. Like, that was myself, like, making that all happen. And then my dad puts it on cardstock, and then we go and, like, make it on this big old banner. And I show everybody, and, I mean, they thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Was there any sort of theme of, like, the type of picture? I felt like some people got a good rag. Some people was like, this picture is not embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then there was some of you, and I don't know if it was you or your brother. One of you had very long hair.
That was Matt, and then you had Fat Ryan. That was the first one.
Yeah.
So, there was some where I just could not find a bad picture. Like, I was like, wow, this person is really photogenic. Like Jackson Wagner on our team, like it was just him sitting there smiling. I was like, okay, nice. But I think I did try to find as much dirt as possible. Like, I don't know if you saw like Kelly with her little pose, like her middle school days.
Brutal.
She was not thrilled about that, but she was a good sport all in all. And I did want to put it like on the in front where everybody could see it. But I was like, I don't want it to block the field at all. But I think it would have been a lot better if it was on the front. Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I guess like I don't know how on earth you ever would have gotten up there, but like having it high up.
I would have climbed. That's what I was really gonna do. And
that would have been pretty sick.
Like, you better not.
Yeah.
Like, you better
or we
not.
could just get you a ladder or something. Yeah, I don't know. Ladders go 20 feet in the air or whatever. But all in all, man, you guys' game of the week was fun. I mean, game of the week this year, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like recency bias thinking, but I really feel like we haven't had many good. We've had 2 before you guys' really good ones. We had our game, which obviously I didn't get to watch. I played in it. And then was it last week we had a good one? No, last week Sod Squad.
Dude, that was not good.
Recently though, we had a really good one recently, didn't we?
Well, so Ghost beat Button Grind on a walk-off, I think. Was it Button Grind?
I think so,
okay, yeah. Ghost had a walk-off.
And then I think Harpies JDE maybe played
a that was legit.
Game. Yeah, I think I was gone for that one.
Yeah, that was legit. But no, there really hasn't been a ton of really good ones. I mean, this week, we got coming up.
I don't even remember. I just remember it's not good. What is it?
Ball Beavers versus Empire. It's not Johnny's KTC is all I know, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I know, and we'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, definitely
about the marquee matchup stuff. But yeah, no, all in all, game of the week this week. That's all we're done talking about with last week.
Yeah, I was going to add though, like I don't think I could pick a better opponent than D-Holes because they were so cool. Like, except there was this one moment where because one of my things about lot of not players, but I guess people in this league in general is like apparently like hyping up your own team is considered being a bad sport. Because we were going crazy, and then he started calling us Post House. He called us a Post KTC, and he called us Tropics House. And I was like, I'm not gonna say who it was, but I was just like, dude, we're literally sitting here just like hyping each other up. Like if you can't handle that, then you probably shouldn't be playing competitive sports.
Yeah, no, that's one of those subject matters where it's like everyone handles losing differently, and I think like everyone thinks the way they handle losing is the right way, and now everyone else is handling it as the wrong way, and it's like, yeah, people like me, where I think I threw my Gatorade bottle against the fence yesterday when like I think it was in the 8th inning where I like knew we lost. It was like we lost, like we didn't score when we needed to, like we really have no mathematical way of getting back in this, and it's like that's me, and like people are like you're getting angry, blah blah, and it's like you got the other people who get like bitter and start saying, oh, you're rubbing it in our faces and stuff. It's like, dude, like what's going on? Like, let's just play. And like I would say, like you guys weren't talking shit. There was no, for lack of a better term, like foreplay on Facebook of you guys like talking shit. It was like you guys showed up, you got hyped, you guys were playing well. Obviously, like chip on your shoulder. Like it was one of those things where, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say by any means that they like brought it on themselves, but like I think you told me a couple weeks ago, like Alex Hammond called his team the gatekeepers at the top 10.
Well, apparently not, because according to Mr. Sanchez, we're just 11 now. So.
Yeah, well, now you guys are permanently at 11. And I'll tell you this, man, I know you've already beaten Free State this season just like we have, but you at least always will get the laughs. That he might be ranking his teams, but his team will always be lower than yours. And that's what I take away. I love Seth. Seth is actually probably
great dude.
He's probably easily in my top 10 of KBKL people. Probably like borderline top 5. I love Seth Sanchez, but every week I see his poll. I've never once been number one in that poll, regardless of. I think I've lost in the regular season. I've lost 3 games in the past 2 seasons, and I mean before this past week it had been 2 games, and we've never been number one in his poll. I think last year we literally were in the same spot the entire season. We never once moved, and so it gets under my skin. But it's like, you know what? Like I can always take great pride that I have to read at least 10 to not 15, maybe 20 names before I have to see the Growlers on there, and that's what I take away as my small victory. But moving on,
we're just grateful that he does that. I think it takes a lot.
100%.
So it's not like it's just goofy.
And Ben Hutnick's, I don't know, like I'll admittedly, like when he started getting further down the list, I stopped reading his. I didn't quite. His movie references were losing me. All the extras were losing me, but like once he got past the rankings of teams I watched with anyone regularly, I kind of stopped paying attention. But the work he puts in too is
he's just smarter than me. Like, so I don't understand. He's too clever.
He's actually there's levels to smart, and he is actually in a completely different level than the rest of us. Yeah. But moving on, done talking about this most recent week. We'll talk some discussion. I know I asked you earlier. You know, we're talking stats rankings. Yeah. I asked you earlier to rank your top teams, so let's just go through this together.
Let's do it.
We'll go 6 teams at a time.
Okay.
Let me pull up Seth's list. I basically use Seth's list here. 6 teams at a time. Give me your 1 through 6.
So my 1 through 6, my top 6.
Yep.
All right. You may go from 6 to 1, or you may go from 1 to 6.
1 to 6.
All right. I got Johnny's at 1. Obviously, I've been on it. Johnny's good. I will trademark that, and then we'll figure out how to
sell it. Put on shirts.
Exactly. I got Johnny's, followed very closely by KTC. So I think next week is obviously a perfect time for that. Post House at 3. I have Global at 4. Shirt Factory 5, and Red Legs at 6. And honestly, I wanted to put Shirt Factory higher, and then I just kept looking at that week 1, and I was like,
"Yeah,
you can't lose by 14 and then be."
I mean, you're more or less to answer your question there. You're going to get your answer this Sunday because they play Global. So it's like, in theory, I mean, Shirt Factory's been very impressive. And like I'll say, I basically have the same list as you. I actually have Shirt Factory at 4. I think Shirt Factory's going to beat Global this week. Yeah. And there's one thing we'll talk about this really quickly. Is when it comes to kickball and these styles of the teams that are in the top even like 12 or so, there are certain styles that match up well with certain styles. And there are certain styles that don't match up well with certain styles at all. And I think, my first thing I'll say is I think Kansas Street Care is a good team to play against Johnny's. I think that they can stop Johnny's because they play very tactical, methodical kickball. And that I think is something where Johnny's isn't quite there because a lot of their players are not new to the league, but are in their first or second season, at least playing at this level. because I know like their first baseman. He follows me on Twitter. Like I know the guy. I've seen him play, but it's like this is his first or second season playing in the top 6. Like Johnny's was a perennial like in the twos team, and so I think KTC is the team that like they can beat Johnny's, but I don't know if I would say that they're better than Johnny's.
Right.
Like, I just say that they can beat Johnny's, but like in the inverse, they might not be able to beat this year's global team. Like this year's global team might actually be too fast for them. So it's one of those inverses, and I think this global LSF game, very excited. I think my team plays at the same time. Unfortunately,
it sucks, man. Like we said, we got to get like all those eight GoPros to
Dude,
put up at every field, man.
Marcus needs to quit his day job. We need to start a GoFundMe immediately and just literally start having him just edit clips all the time.
We just need to have like a bunch of. We need to do a fundraiser where we just make the most marquee matchups for Jello Wrestling, and then people go pay and watch these like Jello Wrestling matches.
That's a good take. Pay-per-view, basically. Yeah. We could sell that. We could put it on the Twitch.
Yeah, easy.
That would do numbers. But yeah, no, I that's my rankings the same as you. I think Johnny's is better than KTC, but I do think they're going to lose to KTC. Then I have KTC, then I have us, and then I have LSF, then I have Global, and then I have Red Legs.
Yeah.
And obviously, what I find interesting is I just know I've seen, I've heard what the board thinks. The board does not think Red Legs is that good. And so I'm very curious, where they necessarily have Ladybird because Seth has Ladybird at 9. I have them in a somewhat similar spot, and so still again, like Redlegs win that game, they're probably not earning the 6 seed. Yeah. Like I don't know how Redlegs can earn the 6 seed if they don't have any respect.
So
I agree, they're so good.
I will so first off, we did not adjust our defense at all in that game because I had never done. I'm not going to say anything incriminating against them but we have not done what we've been doing recently, and so. We didn't adjust our defense. We were down 2 players, but I still think they were the best team we've played all season.
Yeah.
I am convinced they are the best team played.
Yeah, I think I watched them play you guys for half the game, and then I played them 2 years ago when I was on Drop Stoppers, and I think that's the only times I've really seen Redlegs play. Like I think they played Game of the Week this year, maybe or last year. I missed the game.
I think they played Asteroid Head this year.
I missed the game. I know I think they ran ruled them or something. Yeah, it's like. Redlegs is doing to everybody they play what the teams in the top 6 do to teams they play. Yeah. And so it's like, I get they haven't beaten a top 10 team, but like there comes a point where it's like, well, hey, I mean, board, you guys are ranking people. You also made the schedule. It's like, I mean, like maybe we found a flaw in some capacity in the schedule where it's like, if a team, Redlegs is not coming from the 20s or the low teens even. Like they were 11th last year. So like they were on the right on the outside. Like how is this team not playing somebody good? They need to be playing somebody good. And like in some capacity, maybe it's something for the board to look back on because they're basically what you basically have is the same situation, a little bit harder schedule version of 23rd Street. Mm-hmm. And it's like we watch 23rd Street play. They don't pass the eye test. Yeah. Redlegs pass the eye test. Like in my opinion, they're the very clear succeed. But
what would be your dream matchup for them?
I would like to see so Honey Badgers are not full strength, is what I've heard. Yeah, okay. And so that is my dream matchup. I want them to play Honey Badgers because I think Honey Badgers are clearly better than teams all behind them. Mm-hmm. And so it's like my take is I think you have Redlegs play Honey Badgers for the 6th seed. That would be my dream situation, which I still would have that situation play out, but like I think now Redlegs are clearly going to win because I think Honey Badgers are dealing with injuries. So it's not going to be the matchup it should have been. But give me your 7 through 12.
All right. 7, I have Honey Badgers. 8, I have Harpies. 9, I put JDE. And then this is where my team might hate me. I did want to put a tie, and I was like, I can't do that. 10, Love Garden. 11, KBC. And then 12, E-Holes.
So I have Honey Badgers. I have Lady Bird. I have JDE. I have you guys. I have Love Garden. I have D-Holes. If Love Garden still had Kirby, I would have them above you. If Love Garden hadn't just lost to Harpies, I would have them above you. But in my opinion, I think that they probably have, I would say Tyler, I would say Skylar are probably better than any player on your team. Mm-hmm. But I'm not quite sure the rest of the team is, like, I'm not quite, like, I think if you put the 10 best players on the field, who are they? I think you might have 7 of the top 10. So it's like, you might not have the top 2, but you have 7 of the top 10. So I think that I'd love to see a game play out, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to get to. I think we maybe play at the same time this week. But all in all, I think that game's going to be really good. In all honesty, that might be the second I guess maybe third because Global LSF is going to be really important. But that might be the third marquee of the marquee matchup, so it'll be really, really exciting to watch.
I can't wait. I mean, so obviously last year we played them, and first off, we have upgraded, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 positions out of 10. We've had like a drastic upgrade compared to where we were at last year. And so they did beat us by like 16, 18. I don't know. It was not good. We beat Free State first game of the playoffs, lost to Love Garden, just absolutely got ran through. So I am interested to see, because it's like what I said our game against KTC was going to be, was like a measuring stick of like who we are. And I think this game is another one of those. It's like, all right, let's find out who we truly are. Are we going to lose by 16 again, or are we going to like make it anybody's game in the 9th inning?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any world you guys lose by 16. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. Give me your 13 through 18.
13, I have, and this was really hard. this right here, like this 6-team stretch was so tough.
I agree.
I had to put 23rd Street, and I just did it because of their record. I mean, I had to. 14, I have Young Spine, which I think if those two teams played, if I was a betting man, I would put money on Young Spine winning that game. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. 15, I have Sod Squad. 16, Corksuckers. 17, Free State. And then 18, I have Jazz House.
Well, you're being disrespectful to the team here. And I respect it. I respect it because of the Facebook trash talk. But Sacred Sword is the 13th best team in the league.
Who just beat Scoonies by 5.
I don't evaluate on that. I saw what I saw at Game of the Week.
Against who?
I don't remember who they were playing. Late fees. I saw what I needed to see with my eyes in terms of the talent on that team.
No disrespect to Sacred Sword, because I did last year, like rebrand a team, rebuild a team, what they're doing this year. Like, it's impressive to me.
Yeah.
But like, they just haven't really proven anything. You lost to Loose by 9. Like,
yeah. I'd like to think that tomorrow night, when they have the podcast, wherever it ends up being, that Adam Mitchell will be walking up to the mic and telling us that half his team was gone. I would have to assume that's right, because I will say, only beating Scoonies by 5 is remarkable. I could be wrong. I believe the late fees beat Scoonies.
Probably.
So it's like that's like a nutty situation playing out there. But yeah, no, I have Sacred Sword at 13. At least the Sacred Sword team I saw play Game of the Week. Yeah. So that team doesn't exist anymore. I take everything I'm saying back.
So you're saying you think Sacred Sword beats 23rd Street, Young Spine, Sod Squad, Corksuckers, Free State, and
yes. So I watched 23rd Street play Harpies. 23rd Street, congrats, they're about to finish this season 8-2. Fraudulent.
Yeah.
And then I watched Young Spine. I reffed their game against Button Grind last night. I reffed their game. They walked it off, and they were clearly better team the entire game. But I still think there's some things that they aren't big. Their center fielder's really, really good. That their baseman's pretty good. Aaron, super good. Like one of the fastest guys in the league. So they're good. So I have it Sacred Sword, and then I have it 23rd Street, and then I have it Young Spine, and then I have the Sod fucking Squad, and then I have it as Red Lion, just because I think my take with Red Lion is I don't know why they're losing all these games. 2 and 7 is disgusting.
It's rough.
That is disgusting.
I couldn't put it.
That is disgusting, but it's like it's one of those things that like if they play any of the teams in the tournament behind them, I don't think there's a way they lose.
Okay.
I just don't see how they would lose.
So you don't think they'd lose to Free State?
No.
You don't think they'd lose to Jazz House?
No.
Okay.
I think Jazz House, just because like speed wise, would give them a problem, but I don't think there's any way. And then actually at 18, I have Jazz House because I think while a lot of talent gets wasted on that team, I think they're still pretty talented.
They don't bunt. Like they're fast, but they don't bunt. Like I was sitting there and they were just taking like pop flies, like little bloopers here and there, and like their fastest player came up and he was not bunting the ball, and I was like, what are we doing? Like our game against him was honestly a snooze fest. Like I will say that we won 6-2, but like they just were not like putting runners on base when they very clearly could make something happen.
Yeah, no, like I said, that team is wasting talent. I honestly, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe some of those kids need to just go to a different team, but the talent waste there is pretty brutal. Give me your 19 through 24.
All right. 19, I have Red Lion. Number 20, I I have Triple X, and then 21 Sacred Sword. 22 I have dumbbells. 23 I have ghosts, and 24 I have rollers. And let me tell you how I did this. I sat there and I went from 36 down. I compared 36, 35. I was like, who do I think wins this game?
Yeah.
Who do I think wins this game? And that's why I have Sword at 21, because I don't find teams that are 1 through 20 that I'm like confident saying, oh, I think they beat this team.
I mean, that's a solid strategy. At a bare minimum, I'm appreciative of you having this take, because what's going to happen is someone on Sacred Sword is going to watch this.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they're going to send it to their whole team, and they're all going to watch it. So at the bare minimum, you're doing good for viewership.
That's perfect.
And that's the number one goal when it comes to this is viewership numbers. So I appreciate you having Sacred Sword.
If they're they can take this any way that they want to. And there's the late fuse ball.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They can take it any way they want. It's not a dig at them. It's just like you've been saying. There's levels to this. Like we just beat D-holes by 6. You guys beat Skinnies by 5. Like,
yeah.
It's you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. But like you're just not there yet. You will be. I'm sure you will be. You're young. You're fast. You know how to kick the damn ball. Just keep grinding and keep playing hard, and you're going to get somewhere. But just don't bite more than you can chew.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good take. So at 19, I have Free State. 20, I have Corksuckers. 21, I have Triple X. 22, I have the Rick. Oh no, 22, I have Ghost. 23, I have Rick Rollers, and at 24, I have Dumbbells.
Okay, interesting. Now it's starting to mix up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like.
So it's like I don't know what to make of Rick Rollers, because I don't think we've had 41 comments in 5 hours on a Seth rankings in a while.
Yeah.
Like there are people hot. And I saw Rick Rollers were in there, and it's like they're moving down, they're winning games in a row. They beat the Sod squad. That's like they beat my squad, the Sod squad. Yeah. And like I'm not surprised. I think they would beat them again. I think that's like a really bad matchup for the Sod squad, but it's crazy to me to have a team like 9 spots below a team to beat. Like that's just like a crazy and they beat the shit out of them, to be honest. So it's like it's very interesting, but at the same time, like with your theory of like, can they beat the team in front of them? I don't think Rick Rollers beats the Ghosts. I mean, they probably played half these teams, but it's like I don't think they beat the Ghosts. I don't think they beat Jazz House. I don't think they beat Triple X. I don't think they beat Free State. So it's like 23 is where they are, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
they
crazy.
lost to Sword like I have. They're not beating Triple X. They're not beating Red Lion. I think 24. What'd you say? 23s we have?
I have 23.
That's right where they belong right now.
Yeah, it's crazy though. Like at a bare minimum, like I think there's been complaints, at least like from the top for a while, that like we don't have as many competitive teams anymore. But it's like, dude, like the 24th team in the league is not bad anymore.
Yeah,
which
right.
is like, I know you used to like play in the Mahomies, but it's like I felt like there was like below 14. It was just like you never knew who was going to win. Like, you never knew who was going to win because they were all so bad. Now you have like another definition of a level where it's like you have teams probably between, I would say, 11 and 21 that can probably easily beat everyone behind them. Mm-hmm. Like anybody behind them is going to lose. Yeah. And then a couple of those teams can really fucking fight with the top 10. Obviously, you guys have proven that. I mean, Red Lion only lost by 1 to LSF.
Yeah.
And that's a game that it's always going to be close. It's a rigged rivalry situation. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's crazy to see how good some of these teams are. But give me your 25 through 30.
I feel like we're about to just be aligned pretty close.
Probably.
I mean, our 25 to 30, we're probably going to have the same teams in it. But 25, I have Asteroid Head. 26, I have Bald Beavers. 27, and this is where I had a hard time because I didn't necessarily think that they're the 27th best team, but kind of from their record and whatnot, I have Woost. 28, Button Grind. 29, I have Soda Jerks, and then 30, I have R-Bar.
I have Asteroid Head at 25. I have Bald Beavers at 26. At 27, I have Button Grind. At 28, I have the Soda Jerks. At 29, I have the Woost. And at 30, I have the Ladies. The Woost, their biggest problem is they have too many damn people.
Yeah, dude.
And that's why their results every year are inconsistent. Because they have they run into like 3 different problems. One, there's lineup 1 where the good people are gone. They get cooked. There's lineup 2, the lesser talented players are gone. They outperform. Yeah. And there's lineup 3 where everybody's there, and it's just whatever the hell happens, like in the innings where like they're mixing people around, and like you never know, like they'll have an inning where they kick really well or play really good defense, and then an inning where they give up 7 runs. It's like they are one of the most unpredictable teams because they run the biggest, deepest roster in the league.
Yeah, that was a sad game to watch last night. Just like Jazz House just absolutely bent them over a barrel and showed them the 50 States all game long. It wasn't even close, dude. And it was kind of sad to see because I do really like those guys. I play for Lewis, like Dan and Def are my boys. Like, they're great people, but it was just not even competitive.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I love Dan. Jeff cracks me up on Facebook group.
That's a good dude.
He be cracking me up, man. So give me your the last 6 here. Basically, which teams? So before we get in this, so I believe it's the bottom 4 that make the boot. Is that correct?
Correct.
Which 3 teams, or I guess which 2 teams do you have not making it into the boot? So who's your 30 and 31?
31 and 32.
Yeah, 31, 32.
31 late fees, and 32 I have Scoonies.
So I have it as 31 Empire, and I have 32 Scoonies.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
So it's like, then my boot is R-Bar.
No, you did not put R-Bar in the boot.
I did. Oh, no. And I am going off the record, this is a made-up statistic. R-Bar might have actually pulled off the biggest fall in KBKL history season to season. And it's like, it's not even like they were good last year, but they went from like being in the mix and screaming their name at every podcast to being completely terrible. They're 1-8, bro.
That's sad. That is sad.
And it's like they're the inverse of what 23rd Street Brewery is. Mm-hmm. 23rd Street Brewery somehow has the easiest schedule in the world, and it's like, what's going on? And then our bar finished like 19th last season, so they have a hard schedule, and they're just getting cooked by everybody, and it's tragic. And I've heard rumors that there were some lineup changes yesterday that just didn't sit well. I mean, I'm not even going to sit well, just didn't perform well in the changes, and so I don't know if they're going to revert back to what they were doing or what. But man, I think our bar is raising the boot. I think our bar Posh Wash boot final 3:15 p.m. Hops Park, August 20th or whatever the date is. That's my take.
Yeah, so my bottom 4 in order is 33 Empire, 34 Posh Wash, 35 Rockets, and 36. I love you guys, but it's the Ringers, and I think that's the most. Everyone's gonna have Ringers at 36.
Yeah, so I have 33 R Bar, 34 Posh, 35 Rockets, 36 Ringers. I have a take. They're gonna lose. Okay. The Ringers. Yeah. They're playing game. They're gonna lose, and they're gonna lose again. But I have a take. I'm telling you this right now. If you let us have a toilet bowl game, I think the Ringers would beat the Rockets. I think you let them have another shot at it. I think they beat them.
I'd love to see that.
I think you let 12 games in, Ringers play the Rockets.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna pull it off, bro. And you know why I say that? At a bare minimum, you put me, you put Trey Johnson, you put Angela, you put Lou, someone out in their dugout to just tell them the right things to do and put themselves in the right situation. I've seen that team play, dude. They're not good. That's fine. Yeah. We can say it. They know it, but they're getting better, and they're not that bad. It is. They are like they're going to. Maybe it's not even next season, but like they're going to be a team that makes like a jump from like 35 to like 25. Yeah. Like it's not going to be like 31. It's going to be up 10 spots because like they just don't know how to play kickball at the KVKL competitive level yet. That is the problem.
So say like hypothetically, if you coach the Ringers and then you had to choose anybody else in this league to go coach the Rockets, and then you had a game, like who would you choose to be the coach of the Rockets to try to lead them to victory?
Like, do I want the Rockets to win or do I want them to lose?
Like for the best game possible, like the best of two heads. Like you want.
Well, I think I need a bad coach on the Rockets to like make it. But I mean, I guess like if you're trying, I mean, I don't think I'm one of the best coaches by any means. So it's like I wouldn't even put myself in the situation. But it's like if you would let me choose the Rockets coach for give the Rockets the least likelihood of winning, I would choose Rick.
No, okay, all right. Let me rephrase. So we'll take you out of this. So say you got Andy Reid, Bill Belichick. Okay. Who are the two people in this league that you're putting on both sides to try to win that game? Like,
I am putting.
And who's gonna like put up with some of the bullshit on this?
I am putting Angela in charge of the Ringers.
I like it.
And I am putting. Dude, this is tough. This is tough.
I gotta ask those hard-hitting ones.
Yeah, this is a really good one. I think I would put. See, I'll be honest with you. I don't like to give this woman too many compliments because they get her head. But Jess is really high up there for me. But Jess is very much like me. Yeah. And when like things like simple, like, competent actions. Like,
Right.
if I can, like, lift up something and you can't, but it seems really easy, I can't explain how to do that to you.
Right.
Jess would struggle, I think, to be like, hey, when the ball's kicked you in the air, you put your hands like this and you catch it. She would struggle with that. Yeah. So I don't think she would be a great coach for the Rockets. Right. But I think, like, I think Trey wouldn't be bad.
Something as simple as not rounding third base.
Yeah. It's like, I think Trey... I think Trey would be a good option. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I'm going to Tachi. I think like the Peach brothers wouldn't be too bad either, man. Those those guys know ball.
Is there any other sets of brothers you'd put up there
as coaches?
Yeah. Any other sets of brothers that you can think of?
No, you and Matt ain't getting the Rockets. I think there might be a coaching masterclass. If you give me Angela and Lou against Ryan and Matt coaching, I think you guys might get clown suited, bro.
We'd fair play it.
You get clown suited, but nonetheless, though, yeah, I think Angela versus the Peach Brothers would be Angela and Lou versus Peach Brothers, Angela and Lou with the Ringers. Honestly, like, I guess like the KVKL might be anti the concept of the toilet bowl, but like, why do we not have I'm like toilet bowl? I feel like maybe that society in general is coming more around to the concept of toilet bowls because it's like everybody, like, everything's starting to have one because it's like. With, like, gambling, I do Circa's Millions contest. You basically pay $1,000. Every week you pick 5 picks against the spread. Whoever has the best record at the end of the year wins $1 million. Okay, but also, whoever has the worst record wins, like, $250,000. Because picking 5 games wrong every week is just as hard as picking 5 games right. And so it's like, losing all these games, like, at a bare minimum is still, like, impressive. Yeah. And so, I would I don't see, like, maybe it's just, like, literally, like, you have 5 games on that championship Sunday at House Park. You have a toilet bowl, you have the boot final, you have the plate, you have the twain, you have the cup.
What time were those games?
I think it's 3:15, 5:15, 7:15, 9:15 or something like that.
I'll be playing at 7:15 this year.
I pray I'm playing at 9:15.
I told you my deal with my team, right?
Tell
I hate it because I didn't clarify. So it's like if we win the plate, then they're gonna hold me to it. But no, I did tell my team literally, like maybe an hour and a half ago. I said, and I'm kind of an idiot for this. So I said, if we end up winning a trophy, then I will get our logo tattooed somewhere. And so,
I think you should let them pick somewhere.
No, absolutely not. You think?
Well, it's like it can't. I would assume you don't want it anywhere like publicly visible, like at all times. Like I guess.
You think I don't got pride with my team?
Well, no. I mean, then why won't you let them pick? I mean, don't let them pick anywhere that's like unreal, like it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
not going on a butt cheek.
I think forehead wouldn't be a bad spot.
Maybe not for the viewers, but for me, it sure would. And it'd just be logo established 22.
I love that.
It'd be legit.
I hope you get it, dude. And I'll tell you this right now: KVC Tropics ever win the cup, I'll get a KVC Tropics
all right,
too.
That's it, right there.
I'm saying that right here on the pod.
This
KVC
year,
Tropics win the cup.
We'll get our rematch against KTC.
That would be sick. So, next discussion thing, and I was told to talk about this. I believe Jess has no patience, and she already posted about it on the Facebook group, and I'm sure everybody's ignoring her per usual. Just kidding. But there is a rule with KVK that you have to play three games to be eligible for the playoffs. It's a very understandable rule. Basically, like the premise of the idea, the premise of the rule is to prevent teams from adding players in for the playoffs that were not on their team all season, to like that are really good, maybe from out of town or don't live here, or college athletes that are at KU. Like, it's just like prevent cheating, basically, where you could add in all these players that were not on your team completely. That is the premise of the rule. I'm sure it serves other purposes below the competitive aspect of it, but the premise of the rule is that. And I think there's a lot of interesting situations going on. I think the Harpies are in a weird one where I think they only have 3 girls for the playoffs because one girl's out of town. And then the big one, I think, is AO, who's first baseman for Global. For those that don't know, I'm not even going to try to speak medical terms because I don't understand them. But my understanding is in some capacity he had colon issues, been in and out of the hospital for the past month and a half. At a bare minimum, has not been cleared to play kickball. But I believe there's optimism or hope that, we're still at least for the top teams, respectfully, 3 weeks away from good kick, like needing your best lineup out there on the field at all times. And so he has 3 weeks to recover if he can, and he has only played 2 games. He played the first 2 games, I believe, and then he's been out ever since. And so maybe he missed a game or whatever, and played 2 of the first 3 or whatever. And so he's having to ref this up, because I don't know if you're aware of this. You can ref to count as your game. But you have to file a petition with the board first.
Okay.
And so you file a petition with the board. You say, hey, we need this person to ref and make count as their second game with the game, whatever, to be eligible. And the thing is AO, it's supposed to be 103 next Sunday.
Yeah.
AO, obviously, health-wise, is not doing well, and now we're forcing him to go ref to get eligible. And so my thing is, and this is the proposition, I hung out with some of these people on Saturday night, and they discussed it, and Jess talks a lot, so I've heard her opinions on this. It's like, is the premise of the rule, like, can there be exceptions to the rule for situations like this? Like, KVKL, of all places, I think, is the last place to be telling people to risk their health to get eligible for the playoffs. So that's not the purpose of the rule. That's not the KVKL's goal in any capacity in anything. And if anything, they're like the exact opposite in all these standards. And it's like, I feel like there has to be room for loopholes, because it's like, not even loopholes, it's exceptions, because it's like, I don't think there's a single person in this entire league that would be like, hey, you know what? AO didn't play 3 games. He can't. Right. It's like, hey, man, he's unfortunately had a health issue, and I know like this might be a little too big for a majority of people, but like I know in the travel kickball league, I believe Nicole Flanders had a very similar issue where she was unfortunately diagnosed with like breast cancer or whatever, so she wasn't able to play in enough games to get eligible for something, but then she was healthy in time for that set of event, and she had shown up to everything before she was unhealthy and stuff. So it's like, hey, it's not like I'm like this random person that we're trying to bring in. It's like, I always try to play. I was unable to play because of a health issue. I can now play. Like, let's try to play. I don't know if I believe the bullying worked, and they bullied the league into allowing her to play. I believe that was the resolution. I could be wrong, but my thing is like, it's like also too, like, bullying works. Yeah. So it's it's one of those things. Sometimes you just gotta bully people. It works. And so it's like, I'm curious if you have a take. Like, I just don't see a world where, like, it doesn't make sense to me to make AO a ref just for the premise. It's like just for the premise of him being there, because it's like, again, like, he's here. Yeah, you know what I mean? He doesn't need to stand in 103-degree heat for 9 innings to count,
dude. Well, like,
that he's eligible.
You said it yourself. Like, I don't think there's one player in this league, and I think that includes the board. Where, like, I think everybody says yes. Like, there is, and there has to be room for exceptions and room for loopholes. And if they say no and he has to ref, then I am going to put him in a lawn chair. I'm going to have people from my team bringing him drinks.
Umbrella.
I'm going to have 2 of the most beautiful women sitting by him, fanning him the whole time. Get
some UFC ring girls.
Exactly, it'd be perfect. And no, I would be very disappointed if they're really trying to be that strict to where they won't make exceptions for people like AO.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, the real premise of it is to prevent cheating. Mm-hmm. And he's been on the team all season. He has not been on vacation. I mean, I've watched him. He's been at half of Global's games. He just cannot play. It's like, that is, like, to me, at the end of the day, is like, because what they could do, and honest to God, I'm surprised. I don't know, like, where he was at health-wise even this week. Like, I didn't see him, whereas I saw him on Friday. I'm honestly surprised, and maybe hindsight's 2020, and they should have just done this. Like, they just beat the shit out of Honey Badgers. They should have put him out there for 1 inning.
Right. Yeah.
And have him stand there, kick the ball, walk to the dugout. Like, that would, honestly, my take is, if the board is actually going to make him ref, if I was on Global, I would have been like, hey, we're beating the shit out of this team. Hey, come out here, tap the ball, walk to the dugout, take the out, stand on first base for, stand at rover, don't move. Once we get out of this inning, you're done, and you played in this game, and it counts. Like, that is a better solution than having to ref.
I mean, if they don't let him, should we just agree right now that we'll bully the board? And then?
Yeah, I'm always down to bully the board.
Yeah.
And Lauren Legale called me out like 2 weeks ago for the 5 new messages from Bryson or whatever. That was pretty funny. Like, she'll have more than 5 this time.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
Yeah, we're down to bully the board. So, next discussion thing, we're going to talk about 2 different rules, okay? And I know how you feel about one of them. I know how almost everybody feels about one of them. But obviously a lot of conversation, a lot of controversy lately about moving to 6 and 4 as a general premise. And in saying that, obviously there's a billion different combinations of men, women, non-binary, transgender that you can use. But the KVKL, for the most part, 90% of teams plays 7 males and 3 of a combination of non-binary women, whatever other genders are involved. And the idea is basically moving that cap from 7 male or 7 of any gender to 6. And my biggest take on it, and we don't need to argue the actual specifics of it, but my biggest take on it is, like, the KVKL is a very competitive league, and everyone says all these other leagues I play in play 5 and 5 or 6 and 4, and it's like, well, let's break down the common denominators. Do we think Lawrence, Kansas has the most athletic people in a 7-8 state area? No. I think a very major part in why the KVKL teams, especially at the top at the current moment, are significantly better than any team in any other league anywhere around this area is because of the male to typically female non-binary ratio. Like I think that is like the perfect competitive balance in the co-ed setting. I think 7-3 is the perfect like actual like balance of it, given that you have to play both. If you got rid of gender maximum at all, I think there would be some teams that ran all males. I wouldn't be one of those teams. I think there are enough women in this league that are very, very good that could break that up. But like I think teams would abuse that. But it's like I'm a firm believer that 7-3 is a good spot. However, I do also get the same argument that we shouldn't have a world where every team has 3 women on the bench because their team is only playing 3 women. Like, but I don't think we're at that point. There's some teams that run like 7 women on their team, and so they're only playing 3 at a time, and like that's a pretty brutal situation. But it's like I don't think the league-wide roster makeup is that deep, and like I think there's a million ways to dissect this. League expansion is one. Like I think it's really easy to we're not getting that many teams that want to join the league. Well, it's like if they added 4 new spots. Let's say personally, I'm just going to use myself as the easiest scapegoat here. I might be more willing to leave post house and try and make my own team if I'm not trying to replace a team and the hopeful likelihood that a spot opens up. If I'm saying, hey, there's 4 more spots that are up for grabs, I can make a team. Like it's going to be a lot easier to expand the league. However, I talked to Cal about it, and like I did not ever really think of the math, but like with YSC's setup, it's actually completely perfect for 36 teams because it's 8 fields, which is 32 games over two sessions, and then you have Hobbs. So it's like the math works out perfectly. So it's like if you added any more teams, we'd have to play somewhere else, which would be an inconvenience. So I get that, but I'm just curious, like your take, like in the all in all, like are you like 100% stick 7-3 forever? Or are you like my take is you stick to 7-3 until the league roster makeup 100% makes sense.
Yeah. Well, do you remember what I told you like about it before? It was just if it ain't broke, you don't gotta fix it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think some people might argue it's broke, but I mean my take is at the end of the day, obviously I know there are an unfortunate amount of teams and people who like put themselves in situations where they're like, they're probably have a woman on their team that's better than a man on their team. I think especially like you get further down the rankings, like some of those teams have women that are better than the men on the team, straight up. But at least, especially at the top, like Angela, Carrie, Jess, best women in the league. Mm-hmm. Neither of them are probably a top 5 player on their own team. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, it's co-ed league and we're here to have fun.
Yeah. Well, but if you're one of those people who are advocating for this, like what is stopping you from putting 5 and 5? Like what's stopping you? There's no rule saying you can't put more women out there. I think that, I know you're familiar with a situation that happened against my team last year. Yeah. And they couldn't even field 3 women. And so it's like some teams do struggle to get 3 women up there. And so I don't know. Like,
I agree. One thing I've thought about, just like in the general premise, and the makeup of the league might actually already be here, but like I actually do wonder if there should be a certain percentage of required female captains or like non-male captains, like in the league. I don't even know if
like consider Cougar.
Good question. But I don't know, like if there's some way to resolve it in that capacity where it's like, because I think a very simple argument, and obviously I went back and forth for like 3 days with some people on Facebook about it, but it's like I do this simple argument that it's like you say, why are you not playing more? Well, it's like we have a male in charge of the team. The male's saying we're playing 7-3. We have 4 girls sitting around. I get that, but it's like if you have a woman in charge and she's still making those same decisions, then like maybe the 7-3 is what 100% makes sense. So it's like my take is at the end of the day, and then we'll move on from this. It's like you play your best line, and if that for you, like your team ends up being 6 women and 4 men, and that like because at least when it comes to the competitive teams, I'm saying the top 12 100%. There is no world, and I'm sure you agree as a captain of your team, like you have some good women on your team.
They're fucking awesome.
If Alex was better than Brett in the outfield, who would be playing? Alex.
Easily.
And so it's like if Piper was better than Mikey at first base, who would be playing? Piper. It's like everybody's playing the better player, and so it's like obviously the co-ed nature of the league, and co-ed is not even the right proper term to use these days, but like the multiple genders at the end of the day is very important. And honestly, it's kind of what makes it also fun because I will be one of the first people to say like all male leagues get very like a little bit too not fun. Like I think it's a fun stalemate where it's like right now. This is a point I made. Is like women actually have a very powerful impact. Or women non-binary and non-binary trans have a very powerful impact currently because they are the minority that it still has to play. Like, having good women makes your team so much better. Like, so much better. Like, you want to talk about these teams that are on 25 to 36. You had Angela, Jess, and Carrie to any of those teams on the top 10. Mm-hmm. It's like literally having 3 really, really good women can carry you very, very far. And the more you like start to mess with that, less impact. And I have to imagine, like, you know, they feel good. Like, it feels good to make an impact. So, but yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I know we've already kind of preliminarily talked about this. I don't think you're a big fan of this, but baseball recently adding the extra innings ghost runner rule. And I haven't. This was just sent to me in a DM by somebody today, and I thought about it. And I'll say I'm a big fan of it, baseball, because I think baseball at times can lack excitement. And so I think at a bare minimum, like it's almost a sport like, and I love soccer, but like some people like don't like soccer because they don't score enough or whatever. And it's like at a bare minimum, baseball, it basically puts a runner in scoring position in every extra inning and like adds an extra element to it. And so my idea with kickball, I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe it's a runner on first base. You know, maybe there is some. This is just an idea and it could be evolved, but I'm just curious, like, you completely against it? Where are you at on this?
Okay. Well, I don't know much about the rule, so, like, do you get to choose who that runner is?
I would assume it would be your last out.
I personally don't like it at all. Kickball, like, if you can't, you go, two innings without a run? Like, kickball is not a sport where it's that hard to put up one run. Like,
I agree.
Like baseball, yeah, you'd sit there and go into what 26 innings is like the longest game of all time. Yeah, baseball, like, yeah, those games drag on forever and it's freaking boring. Like in this league, like if your defensive matchup is that good to where you can't put in one run in like 2-3 innings, how long is that going to take? An extra 15-20 minutes?
Yeah.
I just don't see the point. Like why would we change it to something completely different when it's already exciting enough? Runs are coming on more and more often. It's like, yeah, if you find yourself in a position where you're at a shitty spot in your lineup and you're not going to put up a run, that fucking sucks. Like, that's how that game goes. I don't know. I don't like it at all, and I don't think that's a rule that I'd ever want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I like think about it. It's interesting, but I tend to agree with you on the general premise that, like, I don't know that we need to fix the extra, like, because basically I agree with you. Like, the excitement's there in kickball. It's way easier to advance bases. It's way easier to go first to third on like a general play. Like, depends on the level and depends on the speed, man. But like, good.
Told me that I went first to home last.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the running in kickball is a lot better. So I agree with you there. And so our last discussion thing is going to be just on the general premise of the marquee matchups this week. I'm curious, just like when you first saw all of them, they laid them all out. Like, what was your first thought? Was there a game that didn't make sense to you immediately? What was your just like first immediate thoughts there when they?
I mean, the first one that does not make sense to me, and it's because maybe I have too much respect for some of these guys, was R-Bar versus Ringers. Like, that's not, in my opinion, that's not a marquee matchup. Like,
yeah.
Because I think R-Bar it depends what version of R-Bar you're going to get, but I don't think that's going to be any sort of competitive game. And I guess Ringers right now and the Ringers that we've seen this season aren't going to be getting like any team a real good game. But
yeah.
I do like the majority of them. There's some questionable ones that I'd like to go through. Are we going through all of them?
Yeah, we'll go through them all after this.
Then yeah, we'll definitely be ready to talk about them.
Yeah, so my take, I think I would have to assume, this is just me assuming with the board and the Ringers, I think R-Bar is probably the lowest power ranked team that the Ringers have not played.
Yeah,
and so it's like that. It's like R-Bar is probably really getting screwed here, where it's like instead of getting to play a team better than them, like they're basically the next available option for the team that's in last. And I have to think that, like, in a situation like this, you probably make your matchups that you have to get answers to, which is like your Johnny's, KTC, and some in the middle. But then, like, you kind of work top and bottom at the same time and try and work your way in and try and make it meet in the middle with all the matchups. And I just have to think, it's like, okay, we need to give Ringers a game. Well, they've already lost all these teams. Yeah. And I know this year, at least, they very heavily went against rematches. And I think another factor that a lot of people didn't think about that they thought about, and I think you have to ignore one. You can either have no rematches and have this, or have rematches and not have this. But it's like they didn't want to have teams play in week 10 and play again in the first round playoffs or second round playoffs.
Okay, yeah.
And I get that. But also, too, it's like, I think the playoffs are a completely different world. Like, I lean towards, let's try to live in a world where we have very minimal rematches. I get that, but it's like I don't think you should be like if a team has to play back-to-back weeks, that's fine.
Right.
Like that's like especially if in theory it's marquee matchups, it's good games. That's sport. Like that's happens all the time in professional sports, and so I don't really look at that.
You know who I want Arbor to play?
Who?
I want to see him play Woost. That's who I would want to see. That would be an interesting game, in my opinion.
That would be a good game.
It does depend what version of Woost you get, but I think it'd be a fun game.
Yeah, that would be, and that would be at a bare minimum. Everyone would have fun game. Those are two teams that have fun. Our very at least front runner favorites for the Bryson Most Fun Award. Is not beneficial, but it's going to be official by the end of the year. I promise. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I tend to agree with that, and I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, but like the Red Legs Harpies one was immediately just like to me it was like how we not have Red Legs versus Honey Badgers.
It's kind of a lose-lose for Red Legs there. I mean,
yeah,
you win the game. That's impressive.
But it's like that's the 10th or 9th best team. That's still not giving us an answer on how good you are. Mm-hmm. And the worst thing is, this is the worst thing, man, is there's no worse seed in the entire playoffs than 9, 8, and 7. You do not want to be 7, 8, 9. You would like it's literally better to be lower than you think you are than be 7, 8, 9 because 8 and 9, the winner of that game when they play each other in the second round has to play the number 1 seed in the tournament.
Right.
They're going to lose. I don't think the number 1 seed's ever lost.
What if we get 9? I would love a KTC rematch.
I mean, yeah, that would be a good rematch for you guys, but there's a very good chance that ends up being Johnny's.
Yeah.
And you can say you want a Johnny's rematch again, but I don't know if that end result is going to change. The score might change.
Yeah.
That end result might be very similar. And yeah, so it's still though it's like there's no worse seed. And like I'll say as a team, like I think this is a Cougar stat. He said it many times when it happened. My team when we were the 12 seed was the first 12 seed to ever make the semifinals because it was like that was the best spot to be. We were good enough to be in the ones.
Right.
We had lost the game in the regular season because we were missing people. We were missing people like half the season, and then our whole team showed up at the playoffs, and we played the 5 seed. It was Jazz House was the 5 seed because it was the year they beat they beat Happy Shirt, so they ended up being the one in the ones. Okay. They beat someone else in the ones, so they ended up as the 5 seed. We beat them, and then JDE was the 4. We beat them. And then we run into muddy waters and we lost. Yeah, but it's like that. Like the 12 seed, in my opinion, is the best seed if you're not in the top 10 because it's like you basically are getting the weakest of the top teams, and it's like if there's anyone you're going to beat, it's going to be them. And so yeah, but that 7, 8, 9 spot is just not a good place. And like I don't see a world, at least like unless the board has a massive change of heart in 2 weeks. Like I don't know how they are going to fix like their impression because it's like if you're really mad they haven't played top 10 team, well, I guess like the only way to fix that is really beating the Harpies, like beating them by like 5+ and it never being close.
That'd be like a statement.
And like I don't know if they're going to do that. They could, but I don't think I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Red Legs are going to win, but it's like for me, Red Legs are arguably the 6th best team in the league. We both have them at 6. I believe.
Yeah, I think.
And hell, who knows? They might be 5th or 4th. Like, it's like, but it's like we are getting no answer on whether or not they are the 6th best team, and I think that it's like it really sucks for them because more than likely they're going to win that game. Hell, even if they lose that game and it's close, like end up 7, 8, 9, and like that's really going to ruin like what I believe. Like you put Red Legs at 6, hell, even 5. Like they could beat the 3rd best team, and they could. I mean, that might end up being us. Like I mean, that is us right now. It's like they're good. Like they would give us a hell of a game. I would not enjoy playing them,
dude. Like they're fast and they can place kick. Like I think they might be some of the best place kickers in the league. Whew, man, I would not want to play them again. And if I were you guys, I would not want to play them in the tournament.
Yeah, 100%. So I think that was the first one that hopped on. And then like I don't want to say the carnage that ensued afterwards, but like they're playing Harpies. Like I wanted to play Harpies. I think Honey Badgers is like kind of done because especially with like where Honey Badgers are in the season, there's no room for like if we lose to them. Mind you, if we would have beaten Johnny's, it would help our case. But like if we lose the Badgers, it's like we're not really going to get punished too bad.
Yeah, right.
And so, and they're not going to really get to move up much because they're not better than anyone in front of them. And so, like their record's not even close to as good as ours. Like they have some not good losses. So it's like it's like for me, there was nothing to play for.
What is the worst loss? I can't.
They lost. So
that's why we need these GoPros. Like I need to be able to go through and like watch like. I'll set up like an NFL ticket type game where it's like the red zone. It's like players are in scoring position. That's when it comes.
Bro, that's 2034 KVK, man.
I'm ready. I'm gonna start getting like into action now and like start working on those.
Let me see. We're looking for honey badgers, right?
You know, I want to play in the marquee matchup. Ringers.
I mean, that'd be a time. Okay, let's see. Honey badgers here. Their worst loss is to JDE by 7. It looks like. Yeah, which is not the end of the world, but
That's
like
terrible,
you're not losing to JDE.
Who else did they lose to?
Global and Johnny's.
Okay, cool. I gotcha.
And hopefully post house this week, so they're gonna hopefully in 6-4.
That'll be a lot of fun.
But yeah, no, there's we play at 7, I think.
Oh, of course we play at the same time.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
cool.
how the world works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's any other another one here too. So this is the only one just because it'll be very interesting to really see because we both had red line kind of low, and we both have 23rd Street really high. And we'll obviously talk about this game here in a second, but that was the other marquee matchup. That was
red line versus 23rd. That's the marquee matchup.
Well, yeah, that's YC2 at 5 o'clock.
Dude, I put my savings on red lion.
Yeah, but we have red line way below 23rd.
Put my savings on
like
sure.
This is one of those situations where it's like I actually feel really bad for the board because they don't get to see all these games.
Yeah,
it really does suck because it's like you have to use results and records and eye test for what you saw as human beings, and it's like red line is going to beat 23rd Street Brewery. Like that, like I would also put my life savings on that.
Yeah, but
it's like you have them so far. Like we have them like 6 spots apart.
Yeah, I think Lion's by 19.
Yeah, it's like you have them like so far apart. It's like you will now all of a sudden red line's back as the 13th best team if they win this game.
I really don't know what happened to those guys either. Like I don't know.
I think Young Spine. Dude, I said it last year, and like the fans tried to fight me when they were playing Johnny's, bro. I was like, dude, they don't have like they're. I mean, I don't even know, like Kroger brand Happy Shirt, bro. Like they're getting old. They used to be really good. They're getting old. I'll tell you, I'm 28 and I feel getting old. It's like the speed. You're losing your speed, and like it's harder to. Your arm's not there, and it's like those guys. The kids are the same. The young people are staying the same speed, if not getting faster, and your arm is getting weaker, and it's like it's harder to stop, like get people out. And it's like I think maybe Young Spine just like was the perfect kryptonite of like speed to get after. I need to see that game. I have no clue at all.
Just break red lion.
I was playing on the field next to them, and I continually look over and saw Young Spine people running around the bases very fast. I don't know what happened, but that was obviously a very confusing result. But yeah, that's all I have about marquee match thoughts. My only like real big thought is I think something the board didn't. I think the number one priority should be trying to figure out how good teams are that you do not completely know based off the 9 games played. And I thought that. I mean, I really thought that was the number one priority, just based off the idea of the structure. And it's like it felt the way they did it. It came off as if it was like the second or third priority. It's like the number one priority for them was like getting us good games, which for the most part they did. Which is at the end of the day, like this marquee matchup week is the coolest thing they've done schedule wise, besides changing the schedule in general. But like at the same time, like for me, I like Redlegs are the team that have the biggest question marks in the entire league. Everyone wants to know how good are Redlegs, and this week is not completely solving that. And I feel like that's kind of a miss. But that's my only really big complaint.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I appreciate the idea. Like I said, I have some plights with a few of those games out there, but still, I mean, it's for a lot of those teams that we are saying like, oh, like this is not really a great matchup. Like it's a prove it week.
Yeah.
Go out there and prove it. Like, oh, we're wondering what Redlegs are going to do. Well, okay, Harveys, go beat them. Like, go show them how good they really are.
Yeah. I agree, 100%. So let's dive into these games. First game.
I'm ready.
YC1 5 o'clock Ghost Jazz House. That's a good one, man.
I love my Ghosts. Like I love that team. I love those players. They're kind of like if there was one team that we're kind of allies with, like I'd say Ghosts. Like for sure. Like we cheer for each other. I'm glad we didn't have to play each other this year or so far this year because I just like those guys and I don't really want one team to have to lose that game. Are we doing scores? Are we doing
just show who's gonna win? We're gonna keep it simple here.
Jazz House wins that game.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I tend to agree with you. My biggest problem with Ghosts is like obviously I go to guys' Tuesday practices with them all the time, and I think it's almost a similar situation like the Love Garden you guys game, where I think Corbin probably the best player out there. Or maybe the third baseman for Jazz House is pretty good when he's on his day, but
no, dude, Reese. Jazz House's catcher.
Oh yeah, him too. Yeah,
Man.
they have some good players, but it's like it's just Ghosts have good players, but then they have players on that team that have been on that team have been on that team since the days that they used to get cooked.
Yeah,
and it's like they're like a good version of Woost, where it's like instead of they have a full lineup of people who probably aren't good enough to play, they have half a lineup of people that are like not as good as the rest of the lineup, and so I just struggle to see them being able to keep up the whole game, and so I lean Jazz House with you, but I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do like if you're a Ghost, you can't just do like have like one foot in the water, one foot in the land. Like if you're gonna do like a rebrand and like a restructure of a team, you got to just completely wipe it clean and start with all young, fresh talent. So yeah, no, Jazz House, in my opinion, win that game.
Yeah, perfect. YSC 2 or YSC 1 7:00. Post House versus the Badgers. Post House, easy.
Depends what version we get of the Post House. Do we
I
get
agree.
The
I think
dead version with no energy, or do we get the version of Post House that is like almost going to beat KTC, almost beating Johnny's? Like,
it'll be interesting. I think what you're gonna get is a version of us that is probably like slightly annoyed, but also knows that like we're a little bit better than our competition, so we don't need to like lock in. Like I think it's gonna be like a try to have fun, and also like kind of like what we did for the D holes, but they're obviously quite a bit better than the D holes. Like we're just like, hey, let's try to have fun, and at the same time, like just come out here and take care of business, because then you can have fun. You get out, you like are up 9-2 after the first 3 innings, like then you can have fun. You can drink beer and make jokes and stuff. So I think it's gonna be like that type of week, hopefully for us, because we fucking.
Because if this is the Post House team that beat Global, then I'm sorry, Badgers. It's going to be a long.
And the Badgers
day,
got cooked by Global last.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. But if it's the version that comes out flat and is all like pissed off from the beginning and is having no fun and like I don't see a single smile or anybody cheering each other on, then it's going to be a closer game. I think Post House wins, but it's going to be closer.
Yeah. So we both already leveraged our. Somebody just said "fuck you, Pindry" in the Twitch chat. I don't know.
Who goes there? Is that Cosgrove?
I would assume so.
You know I love your ghost, dude. All right, let's
YC 2 at 5 is a game we've both already leveraged our mortgages and our future children's college savings on.
Sorry.
Red Lion over 23rd Street. Yeah, if Red Lion, if Never Be, if you end up listening to this or watching this, if you guys lose this game, I'm going to need the deed to Red Lion to pay off my debts.
Yeah,
so,
but let it be known, Ghosts, I'm going to be pulling hard for you fuckers that game. Like, don't get it twisted, but I'm a realist here. Like,
yeah. So 7 p.m. on YC2, Kansas Tree Care versus Johnny's, America's game of the week. This is on Fox at 3:25. I think ATC is going to win this game. But what I don't like if I'm KTC is that they're the away team.
Yeah.
That is like that. This is a situation that might be a game, because like when we played Global, I thought we won that game in the 7th inning,
right? Okay.
Because we got the bottom of their lineup out quickly, and so the top of their lineup was only going to get to come up in the 8th, and then they're going to be back at the bottom in the 9th. That's exactly where they were, and we were going to have the top of ours up in the 7th and the 9th. And so it's like it's going to be a situation where it's like it's going to depend where the lineup. I'm assuming it's going to be super close. It's going to depend where they're at in the lineups, and it's like if Johnny's or KTC like ends up in the wrong spot in their lineup and doesn't get runs late, like might be cooked.
You say KTC?
I say KTC.
I
by 2.
Just through experience, based on experience, and you know how those 2 games go that or the 2 games went that I played against both those teams. I would be an idiot to go against Johnny's. I'm saying Johnny's win this game by 2.
Yeah, I like it. I can't wait. Of course, we both play at the same time.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to get to watch that.
That's crazy.
And you're not even in the same ballpark as that. I'm going to be over in center field looking over at their field the entire game. So when I get fucking dusted this week, I'm going to blame it on that.
That's
so, YSC 3, 5 p.m. Battle of the Shawns.
Oh, no.
Posh Wash. Scoonies. Who you got?
Oh, no, I guess this isn't Hard Scoonies.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was thinking just because is Sean to play?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he told us last week that he was not. But I think if we had $1 for every time Sean said he wasn't playing anymore, we'd have like $6 which is not a lot of money, but it's a crazy amount to have
right.
given the proposition to earn $1.
Right. I don't know. I think, like, if Sean does, like, go into his mode where it's like, okay, like, hands off, like, then there's not going to be a chance. If Sean is, like, in full control of that team, if Sean is doing lineups, doing fielding, if Sean's in control, then I think they lose by a little bit less.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to circle back on something because I actually forgot. This is going to be a note because we've already talked about it generally, but I actually just checked my phone. I have a bunch of messages about it. Game of the week this week. We're going to obviously talk about it, but we just talked about the game that should have been game of the week.
Yeah.
Johnny's versus KTC should have been game of the week. And I don't know a single person on the Bald Beavers. I know like 3 people in Empire. That's who they play, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Love the 3 people I know. But to me, I don't think it matters that Bald Beavers are up for game of the week and that we need to give them a marquee matchup game of the week. That to me, marquee matchup week, if we're going to make this a thing, needs to be the game deciding the top seed available to be decided in the KVKL. And if there's not a good game to be decided there, like if it's already settled, then we can maybe look into like a pivotal matchup that's going to decide like who's going to the Twain, who's going to go like an 8-9 situation where it's like the winner of that game is going to be in a better spot to go the Cup or the Twain. Like we can go down, but I don't see, especially with the way the league's been this year, like we have 5 teams competing, like literally that have at least beaten someone ahead of them, which is crazy and unprecedented. Johnny's KTC has a game of the week, and like it is.
We were talking about like the board needs to be able to make exceptions.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Be like I if I was on the Beavers and we're not getting game of the week, there's a better game. Like I'd understandably be a little upset, but they're just I think for the crowd, for just people and the interest of the league, I think that's clearly the game of the week. And it might not be KKL's game of the week, but it is the game.
Yeah, and I know like it's really easy. I've seen some people playing devil's advocate. Like maybe people are tired of watching KTC play at Hobbs, but like we're tired of watching KTC cook people at Hobbs. Yeah. We're not tired of watching KTC play close games at Hobbs. Like nobody's tired of that. Like that's like saying you don't watch the Patriots when Tom Brady was there. Like, it's like you're gonna watch if you can get a rightful competitor for him. We want to watch that. And so yeah, I just saw a couple of DMs about it, and I was like, yeah, we need to circle back on that. But
yeah, I got some DMs too.
Yeah. Any of them telling us to go fuck ourselves, or that's good. That's progress. Just Cosgrove telling us that. So YSC 3 at 7 p.m. Corksuckers playing my Sod Squad. Who you got?
We only beat Sod Squad by 5.
Yeah.
And
I believe my boy Ben was gone that week.
What happened with Sod Squad this past week? Yesterday?
They beat Button Grind like 18-15.
Oh, Corksuckers are gonna win.
Like
that's not.
Yeah. So yeah, I tend to agree with you, and I think the thing with Sod Squad is, I think they, when they're on their game and they're playing good kickball, like they are very, very good. Or not very good. They're good, but like things can easily go awry very quickly. And I'll also say too, I think they're missing people this week. But I'm gonna still go Sod Squad. I watched Corksuckers play Young Spine, and like besides one inning, it was not good.
Is Clint hurt?
Yes, he did not. I mean, I would assume he didn't play at all. I saw he had his ankle wrapped. He had some crutches a couple weeks ago.
That changes it a little bit, but I still
the outfield for Corksuckers, man. I saw one guy. He was like trying to catch the ball like this. So it was an interesting strategy.
So are you saying Corksuckers too?
No, I'm saying Sod Squad's gonna win. I will never pick against Sod Squad. They could be playing KTC, and I'll still pick them.
I'm going Corksuckers.
Hey, up to you, man. I'll say this last part I went 13-3. So
are we keeping track?
I mean, we'll circle back. We'll circle back. Unless I lose, we will not circle back. I will delete the footage.
Okay,
YC 4 or 5 p.m. Harpies, Red Legs. Red Legs, easy.
Yeah, Red Legs.
Easy. Not easy, but easy.
Yeah,
like I think Red Legs,
like a clear decision.
Red Legs are going to win, and Harpies will make it close at multiple times in that game, but I don't think they'll take the lead. And if they do, it'll be like at the beginning and lose it. YC 4, 7 p.m. Rickrollers at Asteroid Head. This is the type of game I have no clue. I've seen bits and pieces of these teams, and so I have no idea how these teams would match up at all.
Do you have faith in Rickrollers?
Depends on what day of the week you ask me. It's a Monday. I don't have faith in them right now. But they're on a 2-game winning streak, and I don't know the things. I don't have faith in Asteroid Head either.
Yeah. Does Jeff post a video?
If Jeff posts a video, they win. Just because I want Jeff to
well,
post the video. I love when Jeff posts videos. So it's like I'm going to tempt him. If they don't, they lose.
I think Rollers are the better team. Like I think they have more youth. I'm not super familiar with Asteroid Head, but I do think they have more youth. So I'm saying Rollers.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah, I'm gonna say Rollers as well, but big contingent on Jeff making another video.
Yeah.
YC 5 p.m. D holes at JDE. Feels like a no sweat winner for JDE.
I think JDE takes that game.
Yeah, and that's like it's I think
really
brutal follow up the game of the week for D holes, unfortunately. YC 5 7 p.m. Triple X at Free State. It kind of matters which Triple X team we get.
That's what I'm saying. Cooper's hurt.
Who's that?
Cooper he's on my soccer team. He was the right fielder at their game of the week. I don't remember. He called the.
Is he like
catch.
I'm trying to
tank top, blonde curly hair.
Yeah. I know.
Stud. He is a stud. Like, he's probably he's one of the better pickups.
He's like 100% out.
I mean, dude, he got hurt at our soccer game, and that he could not barely put weight on his ankle.
Fuck.
So I'm if and I don't want to do an if game, so I'm gonna say Free State, but if Cooper's not playing, I'm gonna be like hardcore, like Free State's gonna win that game.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Free State wins that game. It'll be close though. So YC 6 5 p.m. Global at Shirt Factory, and the is the big reason why I'm saying Shirt Factory is on this game.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Shirt Factory has since that week 1, just like getting dominated by Harpies. I think Sheriff Factory is probably the most improved team through the season, and I think that they're going to be global. Yeah,
I think the big question for me is, can they stop the top of Global's lineup? Because that's Global's top of the lineup. That's how they win games. And that speed is hard to stop, and I think that's an area for exploit for LSF. But it's like it really makes you question. Like, my big thing is like Jimmy and Isaac uncatchable levels of fast, but they don't always bump the best. Like, it's like they could just put the ball on the ground and line at their base and probably never get thrown out. But sometimes they put the ball in front of them or like somewhere where the catcher can get them out. And so if that stuff's happening, they're gonna struggle. Like, I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be very fascinating to watch.
I think it's gonna be an extra innings game.
Yeah,
I think it will be extras, and I think that one team just wins by 1. I don't know.
This will probably be the game. I think I might have to ref. I'm going to pretend that I don't because I paid $150 at charity, so somebody else can ref for me. I want to watch this game.
This could also be another So I think that Johnny's and KTC is like the game of the week, but I think this could be probably the most like closely matched. Like I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, it's a good take.
I do think it should be Shirt Factory just from like their momentum and how they're rolling right now. So. Yeah, no, 100%.
I think too, it's like a really good. I mean, you can't really say there's any role that LSF could get locked out of, like being considered in the elite teams this season because they did beat Johnny and took us to extra innings. But it's like this could also be a global, like, hey, just a reminder we're still here because I do think at least this most recent week and even still now, like I think no one's talking about them anymore because they're in 4th place. But they did beat KTC with 9 people. They beat KTC with 9 people.
That's a bad day to be Cougar right there because KTC was not happy.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where I'll be very interested to see how it ends up playing out. It's going to be a good game, but if Global comes back and wins the way they think they can, and also too, I think I just got a notification. KU football scoop. A KU football player is the one who called in the bomb threat.
Who?
Today. Joe Kraus, the offensive lineman. Let me see if this is public.
Is he like 3rd string?
Is this public information? Yeah, is this public information?
Jesus Christ.
One second here. I'm sorry for the breaking news, people, but I have a bigger life than this podcast, and my job in life is to break KU football news. One second. You want to carry this on?
I'll just say I'm not proud of what I've done, Cosgrove. I will say.
The next game is Woosted Dumbbells.
Woosted Dumbbells. I have Dumbbells winning very comfortably. Dumbbells are. I mean, like it's because they started off slow, but I think they've been kind of doing better. I don't remember who they played this past Sunday, but I just think dumbbells are younger, faster, and they're just more athletic. Let's see. Yeah, dumbbells smoked our bar. They only lost to Global by 8. I don't know if that's like a situation where it's like, okay, like let's not blow them out of the water. Dumbbells beat Free State by 3. Like, no, they're not. I don't see a world where Woos actually wins that game. And I like both teams, but no, dumbbells are probably, they might fair play them. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
That's
definitely.
sad. Dang. Okay.
Yeah, that's that'll be interesting. Now here's a game. This is going to be will there be a run rule in that game? R bar Ringers. You have to think R bar. Everybody's run ruled the Ringers, right?
Yeah.
Has anybody not?
Well, I think what's Ringers' closest game?
I'm gonna look right.
If I'm playing Ringers, I am kicking the ball every single time. And
Well, R bar is like the perfect team.
I would say I'm walking the bases.
R bar might only win by 1 because they just like care about having fun.
Yeah.
And it's like they might win 1-0. Like it's like, hey, like we scored a run and you guys are never gonna score on us type thing. Ringers' closest game looks to be some 13-point losses to Empire and Poshwash.
Wait, what was the scores there?
They lost 16-3 to Empire. They lost 17-4 to Poshwash. I don't think. I mean, R-Bar is going to be.
It's going to be fair play.
Yeah.
I
think it's not going to because I think they're going to just.
Yeah, if R-Bar
they're going to probably
try hard, then they are going to fair play them. Like if they're like, oh hey, like let's just get out of this game and get home. Like yeah, let's go hard, go fair play them. But it could also be the most fun game that anybody's ever had in KVKL because Ringers are delightful people, and I think that they will have fun with whoever they're playing. So
yeah, I tend to agree.
And I love Brooks. Like I miss him in my dugout. Like that is one person I miss so much. Like Brooks was such a cool guy. But yeah, no, R-Bar's gonna win that game comfortably.
YC7, 7 o'clock. Rockets at the Soda Jerks. This might be a run roll.
Soda Jerks for sure.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. And then YC8, 5 o'clock, late fees at Bunt and Grind. I say Bunt and Grind, but my late fees are going to give them a game.
Yeah. I'm going to go late fees. They beat 23rd Street, man. I mean...
Yeah, I believe...
What's Bunt and Grind's best
Was that on grass? Was that grass week?
Yeah, it was.
Well, as I've said a couple times, 23rd Street was very liberal with their lineup that week. That's what I'm going to say about that. I don't know. I want the Leafs to win. I love my boy Neff's captain. I hope they win, but I think
I have to see who Bunt and Grind's best win even is.
I think that one of their best results has to be losing in a walk-off to Ghosts, though.
They beat Asteroid Head by 9.
I think Bunt and Grind saw, like, they know... Those guys all play City League for the most part. They play kickball. Like, I think they're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they only lost to South by 3. No, yeah, I definitely will think Bunt and Grind in that one.
Bunt and Grind. And then YSC8, 7 o'clock. You know where this is going?
I know exactly.
KVC Tropics at Love Garden. Give me your unbiased opinion.
My unbiased opinion. I mean, dude, okay. I'm going to just look at the facts. I think from what I am aware of, we are a complete different team. We have moved forward, and just from like pure rankings wise, it appears that Love Garden has dropped back a little bit. I think we're very similar. We almost beat KTC. They didn't score a run against KTC. Just man, this is tough. My unbiased opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Love Garden probably by 2. If that's my unbiased opinion, probably Love Garden by 2, solely because they've been there. Like they have been top 10. We haven't been there yet. Do I think we can? Oh, absolutely. I think that, like I said, I think it's neck and neck.
If you guys win, I better see Brett call you out.
I hope so.
Because he called me out.
How do you know I'm not just using this to fire my team?
I mean, I assume you are. I know you guys get turned on when people are negative towards you guys, which haters are the best motivators. But yeah, no, what I think, one thing is guaranteed. That game's gonna be high scoring in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think either of you play good enough defense, and I think your offenses are good enough to score runs. I don't think either of you play good enough defense against good offenses. I think you play good defense. Like it's not like that you're bad, but it's like against good offenses. Like I mean, look what Red Legs did. You don't think Love Gardens?
My goal has been successful.
Yeah, I don't think. Show that to the.
Can they read it?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so. Put it up next to the webcam. There you go. Yeah, his teammates calling him out for the quotes. We got live viewership here. My take is that both teams are going to score 12 plus because I think you play good defense. Both. I mean, your triangle's good, their triangle's good, but it's like it's not good enough to stop good offense. And I think you guys both play top 8 offense in the league, maybe even getting closer to top 6. Like your offenses are good. So it'll be interesting. I feel good that you guys can win, dude. I think Love Garden without Kirby's like just a final straw. Like I don't see how they can be at the top anymore. And I think it's like just Love Garden might luck themselves into the 12 seed, bro. I was actually talking to someone about that last night. They might luck themselves into the 12 seed and then make the same run my team did, where it's like they'll play LSF and then they'll have to play a much harder team after that. But it's like that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I mean, whoever, Mikey, you're listening, whatever, it's time to put up or shut up. Like, it's a marquee matchup for a reason. We have historically a team that is historically better than us, and so now's our time to prove it. And I mean, we could have said that about last night, but I think that there's a significant gap between the two teams. So
yeah, 100%.
It's time.
So, Hobbs Park undercard. Young Spine at Sacred Sword. Earlier, you ranked your teams. And you verbally said on this that you thought the Young Spine would beat Sacred
Correct.
Sword. So you stand by it?
Yeah.
I'm saying Sacred Sword, bro. I'm Sacred Sword. I think Sacred Sword, like, I think both teams have, like, very athletic kids on them.
I want to cheer for Sacred Sword because they do, like I've been there. Like, I've done the rebrand. I've done the rebuild. Like, I want to cheer for Sacred Sword, but I just, like, I think, like, especially after what Young Spine did to Red Lion, it's like Young Spine has played better competition. They beat better competition. And so now I think that they're going to.
I was looking at the math. Like, I think there's a real chance that Young Spine, or that Sacred Sword, or even just in general, the winner of this game might end up being our second round matchup.
That'd be fun.
So it's like, I would love to play Sacred Sword because I'm a very cocky person. Everyone knows that. And I would take no more great pride than humbling those kids. Like, we probably wouldn't run rule them, but we could get damn close. Probably, we probably could run rule them if we wanted to. And it's like, if they have that group that's doing backflips on the camera after beating the late fees or whatever they're beating, it's like I can't do a backflip. I can be fully transparent with you guys. I can kind of do a front flip. Probably not going to try it during the playoffs of the KVKL, but I might do some. I used to do this back in the day. I used to do somersaults at home plate, like the cartwheel when you're going sideways. Yeah, like cartwheel, and like we will have fun. We will remind them where they came from. Yeah, I do it. I'll gritty my way home. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But yeah, I'm picking Sacred in this game, but I hope I think honestly, like the way the standings are breaking up, like we are gonna, unless this team gets upset, we're gonna play one of these two teams in the second round. So,
that would be a lot.
And then game of the week, we've talked about a little bit, but Hobbs Park, Empire, Ball Beavers.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not going to necessarily be the intense game we'd all hope for. But
is that going to be a game where everybody's out of the stadium by like what 10, 20?
I hope not. Okay. I always hope not, but I feel like at a bare minimum, what I do think will happen in this game, I think Empire will make sure our game of the week experience as spectators is fun. Like I think the 7th inning stretch stuff will probably be good.
I need a lightsaber fight.
That would be fucking sick.
Lightsaber
they need to turn the lights off.
That'd be legit.
Like what if like we're all there, Cougar does his little fucking singing thing, and they just turn the lights off and like light, dude.
God,
that would be sick.
There needs to be more theatrics. Like last night, the dog with the frisbee, like that was legit.
Yeah, that was the dog. That was the problem with that was it was too far away.
Yeah,
people didn't really notice what was going on, and everyone in the crowd knew that Sean was going to propose to his girlfriend. Honestly, they should have done the proposal thing first. I get why they didn't. Yeah, but like it was like the antsiness. There's so like everyone in the crowd, like there was so much. They had 55 people recording it on their phones to the fans. Like it was a really cool moment to be there for the proposal. Like that dog did not get the love and treatment it should have gotten. But that is all games. Do you have any final words? We're looking right about the same time as the last Pirate Pod. We're a 100-minute podcast, so What you have any final words?
Well, I think you've been on this train, but you all better buy stock in the Tropics, man, because it's still
I bought
rising.
it at like $2.73, and it's at like $11 now.
It's getting there. So
it's good.
I don't know. I think we, if anybody was skeptical before last night, I think we showed you guys that we're here and we're ready to be here for a long time. So
Rooting for you guys. Well, hey everyone, thank you for listening. As always, Pirate Pod's so much fun, dude.
let's go.
It's
dude.
good.
It's
And
a fun
what
time.
you're gonna get now is everyone's gonna message you what they're messaging me last week as I do. It's so great that you're on there, and this is great greatest podcast ever. Appreciate everybody for listening. Godspeed, and good luck everybody this weekend.